Well, apparently I've already started recording without even thinking I was recording, so I will start off with, hey, I know I've said this before on my channel, but I do want to be a stand-up comedian, so because of that you have to study funny, I guess. What's funny, what's not. Patton Oswalt had the equation of, I think he had it different. I don't know. I thought it was tragedy plus time equals comedy. That's what I thought it was, but then he came up with the stand-up of tragedy plus comedy equals time, which if you try to add the two together, then yeah, you're gonna get time from social alienation, I guess. I don't know what it, but anyways, that's what I thought. But there's a different equations. I mean, I think there's all different kinds of equations to what is funny. I actually back in the day, a long time ago, what was funny was puns. But that was because of people not being literate. That's why puns were such a highbrow uh, comedy thing, because you had to actually know the words to be able to make puns. You can't be punny without a pun. I mean, but if you can't read, then you can't be punny. So what you gonna do? So, anyways, I mean, that's the way it was back then. And these days, it's a little bit different. Everybody's literate these days. Most everybody. If you're not literate, you need to be literate, because there is a whole world that is beyond just literacy. But you probably already know that. My idea of the equation is a little bit different. It's difference plus caricature equals comedy. And it's a little bit different, you know what I mean? This is my own equation. There's probably more equations to the same thing, but my idea is a little bit different. The 90s black comics used to do the same thing. They had, it was a difference between cultures. Black people talk like this. Well, they don't talk like that. That was just my accent. But it really came out wrong. But white people and Steve Urkel talk like this. That was right on point, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's the way it was back then, I mean, that was obviously my own recreation of what it was back then, and that's how it was back then, They had, black comics had, that was a very popular joke back then. Of course, the format was the same. A lot of the jokes were a little bit different, but it was still funny. I gotta give it to him. It was still funny, you know what I mean? It was still funny because difference plus a caricature equals comedy. The same idea with another idea of it. I mean, they were basically mocking, white people. That's what they were doing. I mean, and that's still a very big thing in our culture. Even 2015, that's a prominent joke among memes. I call them memes because that's what I thought it was pronounced till I learned it was memes. But anyways, that's the way it was pronounced. I mean, that's the way our culture is, At the same time, I got other jokes that's the same thing, It's difference plus caricature equals comedy, It's and I think of caricature as more of an amplification of a characteristic that they have, you know what I mean, as opposed to the example of sober drunk, you know what I mean. Here's an example. I saw this girl. I saw this girl at the club one night, at the bar, club, bar, whatever. Anyways, she was so drunk. She fell off her stool. She's waving her arms. She's grabbing tables. She's grabbing chairs. Nothing is working. It's like she's grabbing a bunch of dominoes, and she's still going towards the ground. You know what I mean? And I should have been a better person. You know what I mean? I should have helped her out, and I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? She went to the boys' bathroom. There was a line of urinals that she passed to get to the toilet. So there had to be some spark in her brain saying, yo, this urinal does not have any doors or walls, but still I'm going to it past all these urinals, and it's like, still, I didn't do anything. I should at least try to figure out how that girl got home. I know she got home safe. I mean, if you're judging me for that, she did get home safe because I've seen her since then. But you know what I mean? I'm watching her, and instead of helping her out, I'm instead joking to my friend, saying she looks like a wild bear fighting the air while she's dying. You know what I mean? She's like falling. That's how it looked, you know. And of course, I'm mocking her. I'm taking a caricature of the movements that she was doing and emphasizing them to create comedy. And of course, people do that all the time. That's actually a big theme in my comedy. I'm not that funny. I know I'm not that funny. I'm kind of funny. Some jokes land, some jokes don't. Most of the jokes I like because they make me laugh. I don't go far beyond that. I haven't actually done stand-up yet. I'm still working up to it. I'm going to. I live in a town where stand-up's not like an easy thing. Like, hey, Saturday night, there's a open mic night. I can't do it. So, but that is my idea of what's a way to make funny. PC ain't gonna work on this one, but I don't care about PC.